The home-cooked flavor we'd achieved was a big hit with the men of MSF. Not that we are trying to impress them or anything. Even I could manage a dish like that. Snake enjoyed it too. Let me make this absolutely clear. I have no interest in that man. Football, or soccer as it is known in the States, is extremely popular here. It has not caught on yet in the US, but it has legions of rabid fans all across Latin America. These fans can get so rowdy that it is commonly believed El Salvador and Honduras went to war in 1969 over scuffles in a soccer match. In reality, tensions between the two countries were already high. The match was merely one of the sparks that set them off. But these people are so passionate about this sport that the story seems plausible. Predictably, many of the soldiers here are fans. They have apparently divided themselves into Costa Rican and Nicaraguan teams and started playing each other. To play, you need a ball and 2 goals. The R&D team built and set up simple goals on the deck. I had absolutely no interest, but Chico insisted that I come and watch.
Why not?
It was not a proper match by any means. The pitch was not even regulation size. But
Who gives a fuck?
players and spectators alike got pretty excited. They banged empty cans and shouted cheers through the handmade megaphones. It almost felt like carnival.
True.
Huey, the referee, blew a whistle to start the match. The soldiers' training has left them in excellent physical shape, but they lack the honed skills of professionals, and their play was quite rough. Midway
That's
through,
understandable.
one of the men collided with another. They started shouting at one another, but Huey stepped in. I thought we had forsaken our countries, become one with the earth, he said, quoting Snake. We're not competing for national pride here, and we are not fighting for the good of any one country. This is not a war. Soccer is a peaceful sport, am I right? The soldiers nodded. They know the pain of war, and they share Snake's vision. Perhaps that is why all this resonates with them. Team Costa Rica was down a man, and somehow I was picked to fill in. Costa Rica had the advantage up until that point. I suppose Huey wanted to keep it balanced. The soldiers agreed with Huey's call. Maybe the Costa Rican players felt an even matchup would be more fun too. I could not be bothered to run at first, but chasing the ball out there in the hot sun, I was soon drenched in sweat.
Who wouldn't?
Before long, I found myself actively seeking out the ball, partially out of desperation. I picked up a loose ball deep on the opponent's side of the field. Even though he's Nicaraguan, Chico cheered me on, yelling, "Go for it, shoot!" I launched the ball and disappointment only increased my determination. In the end, I didn't score a single goal. And Costa Rica congratulated each other on a good match in the shade on the deck. Exhausted. The ocean breeze felt so nice on my sun-soaked body. Nuke came over. It is one of his favorite spots, and stretched out next to me. And together, we watched fluffy white clouds drift lazily across the clear blue sky.
It sounds like she's growing a connection between everybody. Let's go on.
It was lovely out today, so I decided to sun myself in a lounge chair up on the deck when Strangelove came up to me. Despite the heat, she was in her usual long sleeves and pants. I waved at her. She looked away and mumbled, "Hello there. Fancy meeting you here." I asked if she needed anything, feeling her eyes creeping up and down my body like she was savoring it.
Whoa.
Finally, she swallowed and said, "You have such beautiful skin."
Oh.
Bewildered, I shook my head and said, "No, not at all. I had heard rumors that she was a lesbian.
Or homosexual.
But she couldn't be after me, could she?" She continued to stare and said, "No, it is beautiful. But you must not let yourself get so tanned. And then she took my hand in hers. What is wrong with a little sun? I asked, trying to cut the conversation short. But she shook her head violently. No, you mustn't. A young lady should take better care of her skin.
This is true.
She was acting strangely now, as if aroused. She lectured me on the perils of tanning, how it ages skin, causing wrinkles and spots, and in the worst cases, even skin cancer.
Yikes.
I knew already that tanning could cause spots, but I thought only pale-skinned Anglo-Saxons had to deal with that. Having a scientist tell me it causes aging, though, that spooked me a little. If I am to keep playing the teenager, I will have to start paying more attention to my skin. Sensing my anxiety, she took a small tube from her pocket. She said it was the sunscreen she always used. She told me to keep it. I didn't know what to say. I was more than happy to take it, but exactly what were her intentions? Was she merely being nice? Or is she really into me? Either way, there was no reason to refuse, I suppose. I have undergone training. An out-of-shape woman does not pose any real threat to me. Having power means not being afraid. It is the same on a global scale. A country with nukes can dictate terms to a country without them. I thanked her and took the tube. Then she offered to put some on for me. She squirted some lotion onto her fingers and began rolling it into my chest.
Oh
It
my.
happened so suddenly, and I was so taken aback that I did not even think to protest. She caressed my stomach with her long, white fingers. Then
Whoa,
slid
she's
them
being
upward
descriptive
between
now.
my bikini-clad breasts. What? Wait, I sputtered as her moist eyes met mine. She was beautiful. Somehow, I found myself captivated by this woman more than 10 years my elder. Hold still, she whispered in my ear. I nodded silently, unable to refuse. My body went limp, motionless, as if in a trance. Gently, carefully, she rubbed the lotion all over my
This is
entire
fucking-
body.
Whoa,
I shouldn't
even.
have enjoyed it. And yet, I could not help myself. For a moment, I was spellbound.
Hmm.
That woman is dangerous. I had better watch myself.
Kinda obvious she's dangerous. Oh, she was being that descriptive that I would've. Okay, next.
Protecting one's health is an important part of any agent's job.
Oh, also, she sounds like she's becoming. She's coming out of her closet and showing that she could be bisexual. Or just a lesbian.
Despite my best efforts, I have caught a cold. Now that I think about it, Mother Base's numbers are on the rise, with soldiers coming from all different places and backgrounds. It is no wonder then that sooner or later someone would bring in a virus. That said, what I have got is just a common cold. The medical team said I'd need a few days rest, so I've been restricted to my room and put on bed rest. I thought I'd gotten used to not having anyone around to relate to, but at times like these, being alone is just miserable.
And boring.
All I could do is lay there and stroke Nuke's back, trying to take my mind off how bad I felt.
Did she just say stroke? Only if people think that the dirty way.
Just sat there, not making a sound.
Yeah, 'cause that's
But I
nasty.
did have visitors. Amanda and Chico, Huey, Cecile, Miller, and a few of the soldiers I've become relatively close to. Amanda made me a soup with herbs she said were good for a cold.
That's
Miller
good.
told me to take it easy. I will sing you a lullaby. Then broke out a guitar and sang some incomprehensible song in Japanese. I did not need to understand the lyrics to know he is an awful singer. Then he said, "You know what is good for a cold? Suppositories. Here, I'll show you. He began to take off his pants, so I threw my tissue box at him to make him go away. Then, Strangelove showed up, saying she had some miracle Indian cure. It has got eucalyptus extract, she said.
I like it.
It works best if you rub it into your chest. And then she tried to take off my nightshirt. I whacked her with my pillow, and I got rid of her. Chico brought me a little flower in a cup. It had been growing in a little bit of earth that probably found its way on board stuck to something else. I found this on the deck. Here, you can have it. He tried to act nonchalant, but I am pretty sure he's got a crush on me.
Actually, she figured it out first.
If they thought these little visits would cheer me up, they were wrong. Tonight, Snake himself came to my room. Like the rest, he believes I am just a schoolgirl and treats me as such. Why did you abandon your country, I asked him. Why create the MSF? Of course, I knew the answers already, but I wanted to hear it from him. As I had imagined, he was not exactly forthcoming. All he would say is that his country abandoned him because all he could do was fight, and that is why he needed the MSF, because that is all he is any good for. Then he said, fighting is the only thing I understand. That does not mean...
Don't judge a book because of its cover. Fucking bitch.
I have got a grudge against those who believe in peace. I am not one of them, and I do not believe in peace. Conflict is in man's nature. We fight our enemies in order to survive. Maybe we are not so different after all, he and I. But that is exactly why I'm going to have to kill him. Or else he will have to kill me. When I stop and think about this wretched existence, being killed by a man like that suddenly does not seem like such a bad thing.
I'm surprised. I'm not surprised because it was Big Boss and Big Boss that he was saying that fighting is a man's nature and all that. I would be surprised if it was by Snake, the other Snake, the clone. Okay, next.
Every month, Mother Base throws a party for all the soldiers whose birthdays fall in that month.
Ooh, that's cool.
There is something strange about a military organization having parties. Really though, it is just an excuse to drink and make noise.
Not really. It shows appreciation to all the soldiers and their hard work.
It is not easy to get alcohol on a fortress in the middle of the ocean.
She makes a good point.
Most days they are training from dawn till dusk. They do not have time for things like drinking.
Who gives a fuck?
That is why Snake and Miller came up with the idea, to give everyone a chance to let loose. Obviously, a bunch of boars like that are not going to bother with blowing out candles on a cake. Rather, they sit there in a cloud of cigarette smoke, drink beer, eat meat, tell tasteless jokes, and swap crude insults about one another's hometowns. But it hardly ever breaks out into something serious. They talk up a storm, but they're just having fun.
It's all in jest.
You have got members of FSLN rubbing shoulders with the UCLAs, people who once would have considered the other mortal enemies. I wonder if that is what makes Big Boss so popular. In leaving their countries behind, they leave their hatred for other countries too. Miller seemed a little protective of me. Hope they're not being too crude, he said. But soon enough, he too was drunk. He yelled, "Come here, and take a look at the real Kazuhira Miller."
God
Then
damn.
dropped his pants and mooned everybody. The other soldiers burst out laughing. I have never seen such a crude, ridiculous party before. And yet, all these people, laughing and acting the fool. Is this what they call peace? For some reason, I began to think about all that has happened since I came here.
You can consider it peace. It's a way to have fun. If you think of them as citizens, that's what citizens will do. Enjoy their time and do what they have to do.